welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm your host, Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, Carl Gray, who's the founder of Young, Gifted, and Black, the big program that definitely is coming up here. We have so much details for you. He's in the studio for the next 30 minutes with us, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, sitting here with Carl Gray, who's the founder of the Young, Gifted, and Black Entrepreneurial Awards. Carl, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Lydia.
Well, it's great to have you here and actually get some insight on Young, Gifted, and Black, the Entrepreneurial Awards, which has really been taking off over the last few years. It's been making some segue. A lot has been happening.
It's been a labor of love.
It's a labor of love. I was going to say it's one of those things when you first started initially, you may not see the numbers that you're looking for, but there's always meaning and passion behind it. So
Right.
let's take it back a little bit. How did this all get started for you?
Oh, wow. Well, the awards program really came out of something very simple. It was a marketing ploy back in 2006 when we got hold of a business in the city that wasn't prospering anymore. You know, during the late 90s, it was the home of, it was a boutique restaurant that the likes of Patrick Ewing and Iman used to go to, to have that quiet dining type of situation. And then in the late 90s to 2000, it tapered off. My partner and I came across this business and we said, you know what? The owner reminded us of our own mother. And we didn't feel like we could take advantage or try to prosper. We found it better that we needed to find a way to build that business back up. Mm-hmm. So for us, the onus was, how can we get this business back on its feet? And we happened to start this whole marketing ploy in Black History Month.
Okay, great time.
And each week in that month, we felt that we would just create these different themes. Bob Marley's birthday was February 6th, mm-hmm. So we did a special tribute to Bob Marley. Our program each week was called One Love Wednesdays.
Okay.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
And then the following week we said, let's honor our women of color. Coretta Scott King, Harriet Tubman. We did these very different nostalgic, both current and, women of, certain stature in history. And then the following week we said, let's focus on our educational system with, HBCUs. Fraternities and sororities are part of the Panhellenic program. Yeah. We looked at SUNY and CUNY, and we said, even those that didn't even went to school, let's look at those, the School of Hard Knocks. It was easy the first 3 weeks, and we said, how we would close out the month. And I was sitting down at my desk, and I looked down at my Rolodex. And over the years of doing events, I have built an extensive network that was, individuals who were movers and shakers in their own right. Doctors and lawyers, entrepreneurs that held their own small businesses, that individuals didn't know about. And I said, why don't we just honor our peers? Do a real simple thing, a peer-to-peer acknowledgement, yes. Mm-hmm. Where we just focus on what they have accomplished in an entrepreneurial spirit and tell their story of where they've been to where they are to where they're going. And we coined the phrase, towards a continued pursuit of success. And born was the Young, Gifted, and Black Entrepreneur Awards.
And that's fantastic that you can actually take something like that. And we always send out questions, and one of the questions, well, how young do you have to be? What's considered young?
Listen, we don't have a limit on it. We use the term entrepreneurial. It's that spirit within you. It's the entrepreneur. It's those that are rising, those that are trying to find their way. It's those that are seasoned, on all different industry verticals. We're not prejudiced to any of that. We've had the joy. I remember in 2010, having a young man by the name of Astro, the astronomical kid,
Mm-hmm.
who was featured on one of the most prominent programs. What is the gentleman's name? I think it was called America's Got Talent.
Mm-hmm.
And when we look at those segues to when he was a kid performing, closing out our event, to then where he is, I get the submissions all the time. And the submissions is very simple. There is nothing to do other than to go to our website and simply nominate someone. All we want to know is the story and why. And from that, we build a platform.
How's the response been over the years?
Oh my goodness. We're in our 11th year. It's a blessing. I've had the honor over 11 years to maybe have met some very fantastic and wonderful people that, in the realm of, say, over 200 and growing. Interesting enough, this program, when it was a free event for New York City, we hosted it at very small venues, brought it to even places like SOBs at the time, Sounds of Brazil, in the Village, where we used to have excess of 400 to 600 people that attended at that time. It was free. And then, the buzz in the air is that an award show doesn't make money. It's not for the money that it's done. It's for what it offers from a labor of love perspective. And so, but the cost to produce an award show is not low. So
It
for
isn't
me,
at all.
so for us, we just simply said, okay, you know what? It's time to make it a black tie. It's time to let people come and be a part of this program because we support charities.
Mm-hmm.
We're building this foundation in which we're allowing these stories to be told because the premise of it is to inspire others around this whole program. Over the years, I've developed a mission, which is a acronym called Power in Motion.
Okay.
And that acronym stands for providing opportunity with effective resources through networking. We motivate, we optimize, we transcend, we inspire, we organize, and nurture individuals towards empowerment. And that's how we try to pull it all together. Mm-hmm. So from a response standpoint, it's always interesting how it comes together. The buzz is all around. And for those that get to come that day, I'm going to say find ygbawards.com, get your tickets, because it is one of the most wonderful and uplifting and inspiring events for someone to partake in.
And that really, it makes me feel good to hear that we have something for our community that's black tie, built from people in our community, for our community.
Very much so.
And it's coming up this couple weeks.
Very much so. It's coming up on February 24th. It's going to be held at an historic location down in Dumbo, Brooklyn, 26 Bridge. Check out the website of the venue. It's awesome, 26bridge.com. It's used mostly for weddings, but we have the opportunity to put this really, we've done it in a lot of beautiful places. So we're going to put it here and, just have it right there in Fun City, Brooklyn.
I think it's going to be nice. Well, hold that thought. We'll be right back. We'll take a quick break, come back with one of the nominees right after this. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. And like I said, I've got a nominee of the Young Gifted and Black Entrepreneurial Awards. Will Dubose, the founder and CEO of WD Designs, is sitting here with me. So, Will, welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, it's great to actually have you here. You're one of the nominees, and in the next time, we will actually have you and Carl together.
Great.
But let's dive straight into it. How does it feel to be nominated for the Young Gifted and Black Entrepreneurial Award?
It feels great. It feels like I'm being recognized, and now I have to basically uphold this I have a responsibility. I have somebody looking at me and looking out for me, and expecting me to do well, to continue to do what I'm doing.
Now, tell us about the day you received either the email or the notification that you received an official nomination.
You know, I was elated. I heard about it, and actually, a good friend of mine actually was kind of. I think I'll let Carl tell you a little bit about it later on. But a good friend of mine suggested me, or kind of
Nominated you.
nominated. I can't even think of the word, but a good friend of mine nominated me for the award, and it felt great. I'd helped that friend before with work at his home. I'm a designer, architect, background as an artist. So at the time, I got a chance to it felt good just to be sort of recognized by my friend, and also be recognized by another friend, Carl, at the same time.
And this award actually is really, really, I mean, it means a lot to a lot of people. So I'm glad that you are one of those people who actually will be receiving the award for your great work. So as an architect, let everyone at home know really a little bit about WD.
Okay, I try to design spaces that inspire people. It's all about creating environments that are sort of happy, and I know it's really dumbing down the topic, but that's what it's all about. Housing is about happiness, and that's one major factor of happiness behind within people is housing, and that's what I do. I do a lot of housing. I also do retail. I also do some other commercial spaces, office spaces, bunch of other stuff. But the main thing that I really do is the design for housing.
So how do you keep inspired? How do you get ideas, staying current? Spaces change all the time. What's the hot looks? It all depends what you're looking for, of course. But for yourself, what inspires you?
I think it's every project that kind of leads me into the next. It's knowing what I did wrong, or knowing what I could do better, rather. That's what really inspires me. It's about also my family and my friends who are all doing what they do. Some of them do design, some of them do just some of everything, from delivery people to doctors. It's everything that they do sort of inspires me.
And there's a lot of different people, especially like HGTV, which I know you did some work with. All these different programs,
Right.
as well. It's really become a whole industry. Now, for clients, do you really believe in doing a personalized consultation, try to see what the client wants?
I really do. I consider this the process when I design with someone. I consider that a process with the client. When people ask me, about a certain project, I'll tell them that my design partner was that client, because they know how they want to live, and I'm actually helping them get their ideas out there on paper.
And that was my next thing. I've sat with designers on the clothing side, and sometimes, and I may not be able to sketch, but I find when you team up with a designer, they help get the ideas from in my head
Exactly.
out on paper and make it, we could tweak it together and then come up with a final thing.
Exactly. So often my clients feel like they designed it in the end. I think that's the best way to do it.
What's the price range, I should say? Because a lot of people, like most creative things, they don't really, I don't want to say for lack of a term, see the value when they see
Yeah.
the prices of certain things, but they understand that things like this
You,
are
you
not
know
cheap.
what? It depends. The price range fluctuates. It goes. It can be anywhere really. Sometimes you may just ask for an idea. It depends on where you are, what you're doing with the space, who needs to use the space. I've done things for free for people, for worthy causes. I've done things to give away my time to inspire, or just trying to attract more work from that client. I've done things like, I'll give them a half an hour, give them 15 minutes. You would be amazed how much that goes towards the end design.
Absolutely. Especially getting that time to really sit down with somebody
Right.
and get that focus. Tell me about a highlight in your career so far.
Well, honestly, this is a highlight right here.
Of
It
course.
does really feel good to be acknowledged, and to actually have someone to say, look, we are following you, we're with you, and we want to see you keep moving. And that's what I get from this, right? Another highlight is when, I guess what started my career.